In the realm of dating advice, particularly within the sphere of so-called alpha male strategies, the concept of no contact has gained significant traction. This strategy, often discussed in online forums and self-help books, is seen as a powerful tool in the arsenal of those looking to navigate the complex world of modern relationships. The idea is simple yet profound. By cutting off all communication with a romantic interest, one can create a sense of mystery and longing that might otherwise be absent in constant interaction. This tactic, often touted as a surefire way to reignite a lost spark or pique the interest of a potential partner, advocates for a period of complete radio silence after a breakup or during the early stages of dating. The no-contact rule is not just about ignoring phone calls or texts. It extends to social media, mutual friends, and any other form of indirect communication. The goal is to create a vacuum that the other person feels compelled to fill, thereby increasing their interest and desire. Proponents of this approach posit that deliberately withdrawing from all communication can trigger a sense of longing and reignite the flames of desire. They argue that absence makes the heart grow fonder, and by stepping back, you allow the other person to miss you, to reflect on the relationship, and to realize your value. This period of no contact is often recommended to last anywhere from a few weeks to several months, depending on the specific circumstances and the desired outcome. The allure of no contact lies in its simplicity and its promise of effortless effectiveness. It requires no grand gestures, no elaborate plans, just the discipline to stay away and let time do the work. This strategy is often seen as a way to regain control in a situation where one might feel powerless, to shift the dynamics of the relationship in one's favor. By not reaching out, you're essentially saying that you are confident and self-sufficient, qualities that are often attractive to others. It taps into the human psyche's innate desire for what we cannot have, suggesting that by making ourselves scarce, we become more desirable. This scarcity creates a sense of urgency and importance around the relationship, making the other person more likely to invest emotionally. The psychological principle at play here is known as the scarcity effect, which posits that people place higher value on things that are less available. This approach, however, is not without its critics, who argue that it can be manipulative, counterproductive, and ultimately detrimental to fostering healthy, authentic connections. Critics point out that the no-contact rule can create a power imbalance, where one person is left feeling anxious and insecure while the other holds all the cards. This can lead to a cycle of emotional dependency and manipulation, rather than a genuine, balanced relationship. The effectiveness of the no-contact rule is a subject of much debate, with proponents and detractors offering compelling arguments. Some argue that it can be a useful tool for self-reflection and personal growth, giving both parties the space to evaluate their feelings and priorities. Others contend that it's a form of emotional manipulation that can cause more harm than good, leading to misunderstandings and resentment. While it's true that absence can sometimes make the heart grow fonder, it's crucial to recognize that human relationships are complex and multifaceted. What works for one person may not work for another, and the no-contact rule is not a one-size-fits-all solution. It's important to consider the unique dynamics of each relationship and to communicate openly and honestly with your partner about your needs and expectations. What works for one person may backfire spectacularly for another, and relying solely on tactics like no contact can be akin to navigating the treacherous waters of love with a flimsy paper map. Relationships require effort, communication, and mutual understanding, and while the no-contact rule can be a useful tool in certain situations, it should not be the only strategy employed. In the following sections, we will delve deeper into the psychology behind the no-contact strategy, exploring its potential benefits and drawbacks. We will examine case studies, expert opinions, and real-life experiences to provide a comprehensive understanding of this controversial tactic, whether you are considering using the no-contact rule yourself or are simply curious about its effects. This exploration will offer valuable insights into the complexities of human relationships and the strategies we use to navigate them. The no-contact rule finds its roots in the psychological principle of scarcity. This principle is a cornerstone in the field of behavioral economics and psychology, often used to explain why people place higher value on things that are less available. The idea is simple yet powerful. When something is scarce, it becomes more desirable. This concept is not just limited to material possessions, but extends to human relationships as well. This principle suggests that we tend to place a higher value on things that are rare or difficult to obtain. Think about limited edition items, exclusive memberships, or even rare collectibles. The less accessible something is, the more we want it. This phenomenon is deeply rooted in our psychology and can be traced back to our evolutionary past, where scarce resources meant survival. When something is readily available, we often take it for granted, but when it becomes scarce, its perceived value increases. This is why people often don't appreciate what they have until it's gone. In relationships, this can manifest in various ways. For instance, a partner who is always available may be taken for granted, while one who is less accessible may be seen as more valuable. This principle applies to everything from luxury goods to romantic relationships. Just as a rare diamond is more valuable than a common stone, a partner who is not always available can seem more desirable. This doesn't mean playing hard to get is always the best strategy, but it does highlight the importance of balance in relationships. In the context of dating, scarcity can manifest as a lack of availability, attention, or affection. When one partner suddenly becomes less available, it can create a sense of urgency and longing in the other. This is often why people feel a stronger attraction to someone who is not always around. The absence creates a void that the mind wants to fill, often leading to increased desire. When we withhold these things from someone who desires them, it can create a sense of longing and increase their desire for us. This is the essence of the no-contact rule. By stepping back and creating space, we allow the other person to miss us, to think about us, and to realize our value. It's a psychological tactic that can be very effective if used correctly. This is the logic behind the no-contact rule. By withdrawing our attention and affection, we hope to make ourselves appear more valuable and desirable in the eyes of the other person. It's a way of leveraging the scarcity principle to our advantage. However, it's important to understand that this tactic is not foolproof and can backfire if not executed properly. By withdrawing our attention and affection, we hope to make ourselves appear more valuable and desirable in the eyes of the other person. But this strategy requires a delicate balance. Too much distance can lead to feelings of abandonment or rejection, while too little may not create the desired effect. It's a fine line to walk, and understanding the dynamics of your specific relationship is crucial. However, it's important to note that scarcity only works as a long-term strategy if the other person is already invested in the relationship, or at least somewhat attracted to you. If there is no initial interest or emotional connection, the no-contact rule is unlikely to create one out of thin air. The foundation of any relationship is mutual interest and respect, and without these, no amount of scarcity can make a difference. If there is no pre-existing interest, going no contact is unlikely to suddenly make you irresistible. In fact, it might have the opposite effect, making the other person feel ignored or unimportant. This can lead to feelings of resentment or indifference, which are counterproductive to building a meaningful connection. In fact, it's more likely to be interpreted as disinterest or even rudeness. People generally don't respond well to being ignored, especially if they were not deeply invested in the relationship to begin with. The no-contact rule can be a double-edged sword, and it's essential to consider the other person's feelings and perspective. Furthermore, even if the other person is initially intrigued by your sudden disappearance, the effect is unlikely to last. Human beings are social creatures who crave connection and intimacy. While scarcity can create a temporary spike in interest, it is not a sustainable long-term strategy. Over time, the lack of communication and emotional connection can lead to feelings of loneliness and dissatisfaction. Human beings crave connection and intimacy, and if these needs are not met, the initial spark of desire will eventually fizzle out. Relationships require ongoing effort, communication, and emotional investment. While the no-contact rule can be a useful tool in certain situations, it should be used with caution and always with the understanding that genuine connection and mutual respect are the true foundations of any lasting relationship. While the effectiveness of no contact as a tool for reigniting romance is debatable, there is one scenario where it can be genuinely beneficial after a breakup. This period of no contact can serve as a crucial time for both parties to gain perspective and clarity. It allows individuals to step back from the emotional intensity of the breakup and evaluate the relationship from a distance. This distance can often provide a clearer view of what went wrong and what might be needed for future relationships. Ending a relationship, especially a significant one, can be an emotionally turbulent experience. The pain and heartache that follow can feel overwhelming, making it difficult to see a way forward. It's a time when emotions are raw and the future seems uncertain. The end of a relationship can bring about a sense of loss, not just of the person, but of the dreams and plans you had together. It's a time of profound change, requiring us to navigate a whirlwind of conflicting emotions, from sadness and grief to anger and confusion. These emotions can be intense and all-consuming, making it hard to focus on anything else. The process of healing is not linear, and it's important to allow yourself to feel these emotions fully. Suppressing them can lead to prolonged pain and hinder your ability to move on. In the aftermath of a breakup, implementing a period of no contact can provide the space and distance necessary for healing and self-reflection. This time apart can help you regain your emotional balance and start the process of rebuilding your life. It allows you to focus on yourself without the constant reminder of the relationship. Engaging in activities that promote self-care, such as meditation, journaling, or spending time in nature, can be incredibly beneficial during this period. It allows you to detach from the emotional roller coaster of the relationship, providing a much-needed opportunity to process your emotions, gain clarity, and rediscover your sense of self. Walking alone on a beach or curling up with a good book can offer moments of peace and introspection. These activities can help you reconnect with yourself and find joy in your own company. It's a time to rediscover hobbies and interests that may have been neglected during the relationship. This period of introspection can be invaluable in understanding what went wrong in the relationship, identifying your own needs and desires, and ultimately moving on. Journaling can help you process your thoughts and feelings, while talking to a therapist can provide professional guidance and support. It's a time to reflect on your own behavior and patterns, and to consider what you want in future relationships. This self-awareness can lead to healthier and more fulfilling relationships in the future. However, it's crucial to approach no contact after a breakup with the right intentions. It's not about punishing your ex or trying to make them miss you. Instead, it's about giving yourself the time and space you need to heal. Setting boundaries is an important part of this process. It allows you to protect your emotional well-being and focus on your own recovery. Writing a letter to yourself or to your ex, even if you don't send it, can be a therapeutic way to express your feelings and gain closure. It shouldn't be viewed as a manipulative tactic to win your ex back. Using no contact as a strategy to manipulate your ex can backfire and lead to more pain and confusion. Instead, focus on your own healing and growth. Deleting your ex's contact information can be a symbolic step towards letting go and moving on. It's a way to remove the temptation to reach out and to create a clean break. Instead, frame it as a period of self-care and personal growth, a time to focus on your own well-being and emotional recovery. Engaging in activities that promote physical and mental well-being, such as yoga or hiking, can help you reconnect with yourself and find inner peace. This time of healing and reflection can be a powerful opportunity to rediscover your strengths and build a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Embrace this period as a chance to grow and to prepare for a brighter future.